So, well, if you watch the early game, it capped off what was another wonderful week for New York sports. The Giants are again hideous and hopeless. The Jets, what a shock. They've already fired a coach. They're a mess. The Mets, cute story, bye-bye, overwhelmed by the Dodgers bats. And the Knicks won't be able to compete against the Celtics this year. Thanks for flying United. Yeah, that was ugly. The Celtics led at one point by 35 points. Now, let's be fair. The Knicks, and they know this, they have to get another three-point shooter. They moved Dante DiVincenzo to get Karl Anthony Towns. Now, Cat's the better player, and they need size to compete against, Porzingis and Embiid and Giannis. I totally got the move. But Mikal Bridges gives the Knicks another wing defender. But you're still going to make threes, not just defend them. And Boston last season led the NBA in three-point shots and makes. Yeah, they decided during the offseason, let's shoot more. Last year they averaged 42. Last night they shot 61. And so you got a couple of new Knicks, and they're trying to kind of like Minnesota figure out what they are. And you have the returning champs, 1 through 8. There's nobody close to the Celtics in the league. Oklahoma City's good, 1 through 8. Denver, Minnesota. Denver was better a couple years ago, 1 through 8. That's why they won the title. The Knicks, 1 through 8, can't compete with the Celtics, 1 through 8. So they've got to add a piece. Maybe at the trade deadline they can go take a big swing. They'll defend the 3 better with Mikal Bridges. But what you were watching last night was a table saw and fresh wood. That wasn't competitive. And the Knicks will not beat the Celtics unless they go get another three-point shooter. And Dante DiVincenzo was that guy last year. But what I see last night is 2 things. Okay, so DiVincenzo's gone. That's going to be more pressure on Brunson. Because Mikal Bridges is not a playmaker. He's not a shot creator. He was at his best in Phoenix when they had Devin Booker, Chris Paul spacing. That's when he was at his best. So Brunson last year fell apart physically because the team was too Jalen Brunson dominant and centric. Well, now by losing Dante DiVincenzo, that's more pressure offensively on Brunson. And Isaiah Hartenstein, the big kid they sent to OKC, or that signed with OKC, he gave you about 8, 9, 10 points a night. Gritty, blue-collar, tough guy, high percentage. Those were freebie points. 8. They're all gone. And DiVincenzo catch and shoot threes. That's out the door. So you're going to need Karl Anthony Towns to give you 26 a night. And he'll have 32-point nights. And then he'll have 19-point nights, and he gets into his feelings. So I do feel like watching last night is they have to add another piece. Otherwise, it's going to become, hey, Jalen Brunson, save us. And I'm sorry, when Derek White's your 4th or 5th best player, he would be arguably the Knicks' 2nd best player.
Okay, let's talk about this. Listen, I don't think we need to go bury the New York Knicks. Like, I'm not in the business of trying to make bold takes. Game 1, okay, of the season. That's always been my biggest issue with the NBA. It's a long season, okay? And it's hard to really try to deeply analyze what one game means out of 82, right? I mean, it's why basketball, you have 7-game series. Because what you do in game 1, 2, 10, 30, 50, 70, it fundamentally doesn't matter, right? And so you're not going to just draw these big, strong conclusions. I will say this, and people seemingly forget it every single season. Every single season, people seem to forget this. When you bring in new players and you bring in a new team, it takes time. Every single team, when they bring in new players like this, like the New York Knicks have done, it takes time. Basketball is not like baseball where it's just plug and play. You can grab this shortstop, bring him over there, boom, they can turn a double play like it's nothing, like they've been doing it forever with each other. That's not what it's like. Even football can be more plug and play sometimes, depending on when you actually get that player. Basketball, you are in constant conversation with everyone. You're getting a feel. It's why when you watch like why you watch the Olympics, okay? These literal Olympians, Team USA, the best of the best of the best, they struggle to play together as a team in the beginning. This is the best of the best of the best. Okay, they literally struggle. This year they struggled until they finally got things going. Would you have said, oh, doesn't work. Steph Curry's no longer good. LeBron James too old. KD too old. Ant not mature enough. You could have said that after the first couple of games. And then they went on and won the gold medal, obviously. So, again, the Celtics are a great team. Make no mistake about it. So that's why I'm not saying, oh, the Celtics are gonna lose to the Knicks and the Knicks are gonna win the championship. Like, if you're new to this channel, that's not the type of videos that I'm making here, right? I'm interested in just trying to break things down, talk about it from all different perspectives, and try to get to the truth of a topic. I'm not interested in making bold claims on October 23rd, literally opening day for the NBA. Like I'm just not gonna do that. But we do this all the time. They did this with Miami Heat, even with the Brooklyn Nets, the Warriors, the Rockets, the Spurs. I'm trying to think of all these teams where they kind of brought pieces together. The Thunder. And again, this is all depending on what timeline we're talking about and which guys. But it's always a weird start because I mean, like I'm having like deja vu because I watched so many of these shows. And again, I'm not blaming Colin or anything like that. This is such a common thing. You see it on First Things First, The Herd, First Take, all of them. Anytime they get a new team, they're always like, proof this isn't going to work, Another tough loss. Will they be able to turn it around? And it's just like, that's what happens with these teams. It takes a minute or two for them to get going. So and also, is Boston going to shoot a record 3 points? A record tying 29 3-pointers? No. That's why it's a record, because it doesn't happen all the time. So let's not overreact to this one game, the first game, while they're integrating a lot of new pieces. Do they need to improve? Do they need to get better? Do they need to add another piece or two? Sure. That's fair. I think that's totally fair, but to just rip them apart is kind of comically absurd. And it's funny that Colin referenced the Mets, because Colin was literally praising the Mets. When they beat the Phillies and when they went up on the Phillies, Colin was praising the Mets as this feisty, fierce team. He was like ready to go all in on the Mets, right? And then especially when the Mets were beating the Dodgers, it was when the Dodgers were losing to the Padres, he was ready to bury the Padres. The Padres are feisty and ready to go. The Padres are no longer little brother to the Dodgers, right? And then the Dodgers won, and he's like, well, they're the Dodgers. And it's like, come on. What are we doing here, man? What are we doing? So the Knicks will be okay. The Knicks, let's let this bake for a minute or two before we start saying they're done. Get rid of it. Season over. Celtics repeating. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the New York Knicks, what they're looking like right now, and how they were blown out by the Celtics? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.